Tun, thank you for your time today with BNC. Talking about the viability of the ECR project, talking about the supplementary agreement, there have been some accusations, questions raised that the new cost of 44 billion comes at the expense of the certain features such as the double tracking. Is this accusation correct? Is it still double tracking or has gone to a single tracking?
Where did they get this idea from? Did they read the supplementary agreement to come to that conclusion?
But because the accusation is that because the cost...
No. What's it got cost to do with double tracking? We said we are not changed. It's double tracking, I don't know where they get this, news from, it's single tracking. We have not changed that. It's still double tracking. And whoever come up with this story that is single tracking is not telling the truth.
Okay, the other thing is that when you're talking about the line, but there were some changes. You're talking about the new southern alignment, and one of the significant changes is that Bentong and the Gombak stations have been removed from the alignment. Can you explain why these changes were included in the supplementary agreement?
You see, the whole package was, the agreement was the what is called is the lump sum. Okay? Lump sum maknanya kata for the whole contract, that's X amount. Yeah? You don't know how much it costs, you don't know where the money is going. You don't know where the money is going because it's the whole package. So you don't know until you really sit down and see whether this drawing, how much it's going to cost. This area, how much. We do not know because it's the lump sum. Lump sum means macam pergi borong lah. Kecil besar serupa. Don't know what this is. Now we go into detail that we know exactly. So when we did that time, we said, okay, the only way to come to the conclusion, okay, how much per kilometer? Then we came, we did analysis, and per kilometer at that time was over 90. Yes. Yeah? Now we managed to reduce. Because dulu lump sum. Now kita no more lump sum.
So you break down the...
Break down for work done. Okay. Well, that's the actual cost. That's the difference. Yeah?
So, but when you're talking about per kilometer and all that, do you find that the Bentong Gombak area is very expensive because you're going to...
I mean, as I said, it's lump sum. How do you know? Tahu mana lump sum? Itu tak tahu. You guess saja. I also guess.
But what was the difference?
Of course, it's going to cost much more, isn't it? Yeah. But it's lump sum. Until you break it down, you don't know the figure. Yeah?
But then, what was the decision made to also include, change the alignment to include Negeri Sembilan and Kuala Kawan?
Sure, yeah. Because this is the alternative, the route which is far better. Because they go to Putrajaya. And so that those want to go to airport, from there can go straight. Yeah? Those who land from tourists want to come from Putrajaya, they can go straight. We don't have to come through this way.
You're taking advantage of the linkages.
Sure, all the linkages.
I see. In the past, some Pakatan Harapan members, including ministers, as even prominent economists such as CEP member Professor Jomo, they stated that the ECRL should be cancelled because it is too big a financial risk and a burden for the government. Do you think with this renegotiated deal, their arguments are still valid?
See, basically, we have paid over 20 billion. 15% of the costs have been paid. This is unprecedented. Tak pernah, never done before. Even with Putra, punya contract locally, at best we pay only 5%. Here we paid 15% in advance. Huge sum have gone. If you terminate, you got nothing. Gone. 20 over billion gone. What do we do? You want to lose that 21 billion? Or sit down and discuss with them, how do we reduce the cost? So that we have not lost anything.
Because if you decide to cancel it, you won't have nothing in your hand, but you end up paying for a long time.
Yeah, 21 billion gone already. First 21 billion gone, some more, and then some more compensation.
How important was it that it was not just any project, it was an infrastructure project?
Yes.
That was like really going to have an economic impact on the East Coast, and also the spillover benefits that warranted that this project should go on, albeit in different terms, Okay.
There are two projects here. One is ECRL, pipeline in Sabah. Also paid in advance. Paid already. Hardly any work done. We have paid in advance about 8 or 9 billion. Only maybe, really no work has been done. That one we have terminated. So we're negotiating. And worst thing, we have also to pay compensation for no work done. I mean, how silly can it be?
Now, talking about terms and conditions of a contract, is there anywhere that you've seen that you pay so much upfront? And you pay upfront is understandable, 5% and all that. Here you're like almost quite a substantial sum and all that.
Not only quite, we're talking about billions, 20 over billion.
Why do you think this happened?
You ask them, why?
Did you in any way, when you negotiated with the other party, were you able to prove, or yourselves were able to find out that, ascertain that this money, because of the inflated cost, some of it would be used to pay the financial liabilities in 1MDB?
I didn't approach that way. I didn't approach that way. I approached the basis that, look, I want to settle.
You want to continue this project?
Yeah, I want to settle this project. I said, look, as far as Malaysia is concerned, we are friends. So let's sit down and solve this problem. We have paid so much. We don't want to lose that money also. So let's make sure that at least this project, when it proceed, over time, it's going to be viable. Over time, not immediately.
Mm-hmm. Because the other thing is that when the Pakatan Harapan government took over, the first messaging was that we're going to cancel the project. Okay. Then when you went and started talking to them, how was their reception? Because they would have heard news that you are going to cancel the project. So when you started renegotiating, what was their response?
Of course, when we met, then they said, look, it's a contract, which is correct. It's a binding contract.
So you're bound by it, right?
So what do we do? So we must take advantage of the position that we were in, that we must take advantage and say, look, okay, if you want a project to go on, let's sit down and talk.
So is that why you call it a renegotiated contract? It is not a new contract?
Yeah, it's supplementary. Okay, because that contract, as far as they are concerned, that contract is good. Mm-hmm. Of course, we like to dispute that, but if not, then go to court. It will prolong, take a long time. So the best thing among friends, let's sit down and talk.
When you say best thing among friends, was it a diplomatic coup on your part, and even the Prime Minister, for being able to influence Beijing and the CCCC to come again to the negotiating table to sort of work out this supplementary agreement?
And that's for others to judge, not for us. But so far, you can see the write-up all over the world is positive. Except in Malaysia, that's expected, because you can't expect everybody to agree. But all over the world, they praise Dr. Mahathir, and say this is the way how to handle, bilateral relationship, the way, that among friends, this is how we settle things.
Which is why the other important thing is that the Prime Minister is going to Beijing for the One Belt, One Road policy. So will this be discussed, and will there be further improvements in maybe bilateral ties between Beijing and Kuala Lumpur?
I don't. I think this is settled. That's why both sides. This is already settled. This price at 44 as it is. But the moment I think when they sit down to the work, the collection, the price can come down further.
Oh, there's a possibility that the price can come down
Sure,
further?
sure. I'm confident if we sit down together, the price can come down.
What areas will facilitate for the price to come down further?
Let the experts do it. Okay. I'm not an expert. That's why I don't want to go and comment. I'm not an expert.
But you sound very confident for the price to come down further, right?
I know. When the time comes, I'm confident that, and not only that, after this, over time, there is really confidence among the investors. Even when it's China, investors they want to come and invest, And then when we were in China, since time and now we're going to invest $1 billion US already here. There's so many other companies, who are very keen. Basically, what you have to do is restore confidence, which, to an extent, like in Malaysia and China, that we have done, which is very important.
I think it'll augur well for the construction sector.
The construction, of course, they love it. I mean, 44 billion, that's a lot of money, And the local 40%, local 40%.
Tun, with the cost reduced by 21.5 billion, okay, how big a loan is the government going to get from China Exim Bank as a result of this?
Sure, I mean, the loan will come down.
It will come down, okay.
It will come down. So then the interest rate also, I mean, we will pay less on interest, And over a period of time, I think we're going to save very substantial sum. And at least minimum, over that period, I think about 30 billion some more.
So that's quite substantial, very substantial, right?
So I said, but this, I said, this let the experts handle. I don't want to handle this.
So when will the negotiations for this?
I mean, they will start soon. And today they have honored their word. They have returned $500 million.
And that's the other $500 million?
The advance payment, they have returned. The other half will come, so we can get back $1 billion.
So that means I can assume that the 21.5 billion is only the minimum savings we are going to get.
Yeah, I'm confident of that. But again, when they come down, the experts must know how to handle this. I'm not. I'm only going to negotiate that. The detail they have to handle it. But what we must do, we must be very intelligent, in doing the detailed negotiation.
So the other thing is
no wastage after this.
No wastage. Yeah. When you're talking about experts, who are the experts? Because
I mean the engineers and all those fellows. You don't get involved. You don't get involved. Let them handle it. So they make the mess, you fire them.
So when you're talking about the experts and all that, are they coming down to talk? CCCC is here already?
They're already here. They're already here. I mean, they have an office here. And they've been doing the work. Except we suspended. Suspended. That's why they're here. And now that I have met them, they have met me, I think we trust each other now. And this is more important.
So I think things have really improved since May 10th when the decision to cancel it and all that. On that goodwill, Tun, there are some who are arguing that the ECRL domestically will end up as a white elephant because you're talking about ridership, you're talking about cargo loads which are insufficient. What is the projection for ECRL's future usage?
Okay, this is actually when they plan this, 70% cargo, 30% passenger.
Was that too ambitious?
Well, I mean, you can plan. It's good to have good planning, but planning must be good. You say 70%. Where are you going to get 70% cargo? Everybody said there's nothing in this coast. But the Chinese now, that's why we say the MOM should be 50-50.
Because the MOM, there's also questions being raised that the ownership will go to CCCC, but it's a joint venture and there's security things and all that. Are all this...
This is a confused mind. Where does it go, CCC? 100% owned by Malaysian. It's only management, operation, maintenance. Macam building lah. Kata building ni. Kalau I ask you to manage, operate and maintain, does it belong to you?
Which means MRL will be owning all the assets.
Sure lah, kita yang bayar. We pay, you know. Why should kita kata cari orang yang manage. Dulu so kita manage. Kalau kita manage, lose 100% kita. Now we say, you share the burden lah. Why should you take the money, go away? Stay back lah. Kita kata, please stay back. Also spend your money here. Bring your family here, 20 tahun.
So Tun, that means the accusation that it will threaten national security and things like that does not hold water.
I mean, it's a very wild imagination. Mas dulu managed by whom? Masalah lah. Security.
Manage.
Security.
Not ownership.
Distinguish between ownership dengan management. Jangan keliru orang. Don't confuse people. If you don't understand, don't come up with a statement.
Is that like trying to confuse the people?
I don't know. I mean, best is not to confuse yourself.
So the ownership is with Malaysia.
Okay, because mention in some case Saudi, managed by Malaysia. So what happened to Saudi security? In the same breath, and say, oh, in the case of India, in Saudi, we are managing it. We have the expertise. What about security? Saudi bagi kita je.
So you
Compromise the security, mana boleh?
So the question is, they just operate, right? Manage and maintain.
In England, 70% of the line belong foreigners. Tak ada problem security pun. No, go and check the facts before you make a statement. Okay.
Tun, I want to go back to the ridership. Will it be the passenger ridership or the cargo load that will be the more profitable sector, you know? And you're talking about
It's got to be cargo. That's why I said this is an opportunity for the East Coast. I think they got also the corridor. The corridor, the Eastern Corridor, whatever. The Eastern Corridor. They also bring in industries. Now with the MOM, we have put the burden on the Chinese company to bring in industries. Because otherwise they're going to lose. Because there we say, if there's profit, we make 80, they make 20. But if lose, 50-50. Why should they lose? And I think they have the connection. This is a very big company. This is a very big company. Dulu they only do construction, but then also now do investment. And they're very confident. As far as they're concerned, they can bring investment. In fact, they're looking for land to do industrial park now in the East Coast as well as in the West Coast. But I mean, I welcome all this opinion and criticism so that we can improve. How to improve to make sure that this project at the end of the day become very successful. It's very important. So let's have more ideas, more opinion from the public. But don't make wild criticism, wild accusation. Because you must know the facts before you make any criticism.
Talking about contractors before and after, under the old agreement, there about 20 to 30% will be Malaysian contractors and all that, localization of jobs. But now under the renegotiated deal, contractors will be, for Malaysian contractors will about access to about 40% of the jobs. Tell me how much of an opportunity will it open up for Bumiputra contractors in this project?
Okay, see, I read a few days ago, Bumiputra said, look, they want negotiated tender. Cannot. This is international tender. Okay? The best thing is, my advice, Bumiputra contract, if you don't have sufficient capacity, go and JV with those other experts.
For foreign parties also?
Doesn't matter, because it's open tender anyway, and then let them then decide who they want to give, because there are so many packages.
So basically, what I can ascertain is that the government is advising Bumiputra contractors to joint venture with foreign experts in undertaking contracts for the
If they don't have the capacity.
if they don't have the capacity or the expertise.
If they have, okay, go ahead.
I see. So that will, I mean, if they have the capacity, but if they go to joint venture, they can also go beyond 40%, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah.
When you're talking about expertise, what kind of areas?
I mean, mainly technical, engineering, and supplies also. They come a lot of supplies. That's why we say the East Coast now should take advantage, prepare now, because it's up to 2026. By now should prepare. What is it they want to offer.
Tun, important thing, MRL issued a statement yesterday in reply to allegations made by certain quarters, which the media widely referred to as the former Prime Minister. He seems to be very active in defending the deal that was signed by his administration and accused the improved ECRL deal as no deal at all. So Tun, against such a backdrop, what have you got to say about this when you observe what he is saying and what you have done in renegotiating a deal that is lower cost?
You are referring to Sri Najib?
Yes.
Well, it's a friend of mine. I don't like to debate with him in the open, but as I said, I prefer to have the advice of experts. And in this particular case, I don't know why he's defending himself, unless he's deeply involved. If it's the cabinet must come and defend him. So I want to ask, who made this decision? ECRL. Was it a cabinet decision? Because some members of the cabinet said they don't even know. Was there a cabinet paper on it? Was a thorough study done? What did the McKinsey report say? I want also to know. What is SPED? What was SPED's recommendation? I think you all should, Bernama should go and do investigative reporting on this.
Because for any public sector project, the EPU has to be involved, right?
Wait, I'll see whether EPU approve or not. I'm posing this question before we criticize anything. Let's go and check on this thing. And then I don't want to discuss this in public. Okay. So but you go and investigate all these things.
The other thing I want to ask you is that did a member of the CEP, Robert Kwok, did he help in facilitating renegotiations between Beijing and Kuala Lumpur, because he is an important in the circle of decision makers for the economy of China. So did he play a role in helping to?
Well, I don't know about his role in China. I don't know.
Okay, but as far as this ECRL is concerned,
I'm an old friend of Mr. Robert Kwok. I'm an old friend of Robert Kwok. I see him quite often. But in this particular case, I think PM appointed me as special envoy. And there must be a reason for it. Because maybe only he can explain. But the point is, the advice was that ini macam rambut dalam tepung. So handle it well.
In finally, Tun, what is your thinking about this whole project and the economic benefits that will bring to the East Coast states of Peninsular Malaysia?
They say the East Coast state have come out, the government has come out in support. Everybody has come in support. Because they think, okay, it will create employment, economic benefit, all those things, and then the tourism. They look forward to this, And this is a big infrastructure project, probably one of the biggest, we have, embarked on. And they should take advantage. We don't want just people to talk. Now that the government has put in money, every state must also plan how to benefit from it. Everybody should sit down and plan. Look, it's coming now. And every stop has a role to play. Every station has got a role to play. So they should take advantage of this. What is it they can contribute so that this project will give economic benefit to them. You know? That's very important. Don't expect federal government to do everything. You know? They themselves must do. And that's why I say we're going to have industrial estate. All the thing. They should go around also, get investors to come and invest. You know? And then I said, I look forward. I said there is tremendous opportunity to make this successful. But in the end, we must make the effort. You know? Because if you are successful in the West Coast, we can succeed also in the East Coast. You know?
And we can have some balanced development
between the two, and also get the East and the West closer, which is important. You know? Very important.
So Tun Daim Zainuddin, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.